and I'm happy to introduce Josefina Lopez, author of Hungry Women in Paris. She's also the writer for Real Women Have Curves. So let's meet Josefina.
I'm excited to talk to you about your book, Hungry Women in Paris. So first, I actually wanted to talk to you a little bit about Real Women Have Curves, because I know that you wrote the screenplay for that, and the play, as well as the movie.
And I'm working on the musical.
So please, tell me all about how you started in writing and all of that.
Okay. My writing career began when I was 17. I wrote my first play called Simply Maria, or The American Dream, and when I was 18 it was produced. And I wrote Real Women Have Curves when I was 18, and when I was 21 it was produced. It had a world premiere in San Francisco. And after it premiered in San Francisco, I got a call from Warner Brothers, a producer, asking me if anyone had the rights. And it was really exciting because I was only 21 and I got introduced to the world of Hollywood. Kind of thrown in, not knowing anything at all. And it was very stressful, but anyway, I tried doing an adaptation. I still didn't know enough, and it took many years, like 11 years for the movie to finally get made, and then it went to Sundance and it won all these awards. And it's just exciting to know that people all over the U.S. and in some other foreign countries that they know this movie.
So how'd you come up with the concept of Real Women Have Curves?
Well, I worked in a sewing factory, and we made these beautiful gowns that the Latino women in the factory couldn't afford, and they couldn't fit in them. And it was the first time I had ever seen a size 0. I didn't realize that you could have a size 0. No, I thought you wouldn't exist if you were size 0. So I was kind of shocked, but one of the reasons I did it is because I always felt that women were always given the message that they had to be intelligent or beautiful, but they couldn't be both, because it confuses men, you know. And I always felt like it was, and so then when I was growing up, I didn't care about being perceived as beautiful. I wanted people to listen to me. But I realized that at a certain point, young women care more about the way they look than about what they think. And I wasn't one of those girls. I was very athletic, and I wanted to make a difference. And then I also realized that I was measuring beauty also by Anglo-Saxon standard. When it became clear to me that a friend of mine who was Asian, who was telling me that he thought Asian women were very beautiful, and I think I might have made a face, because then he said, "Well, you don't think so?" And I said, "No, well, I think they're kind of plain, you know." And then he said, "Oh, it's because you are, comparing them to white women, and of course, they have different." And it was the first time that I went, "Oh my God, that's right." Because then he said to me, "Well, do you think Latina women are beautiful?" And then the answer was no. I was like, and I go, "Oh wow, like, why not?" And then he goes, "And because I'm always comparing them to white women." And of course, Latina women will never live up to that standard, because they're not supposed to be white women; they're supposed to be Latino. And that's when I got really upset, because I said, "Well, how did I come up with those beliefs when I didn't even choose those beliefs? It was just something that was by default. You just started believing." And I said, "Because everything around me has told me that being beautiful is Barbie, and Barbie is not real. She's plastic."
She's too tiny.
she's just so unreal, and yet so many women believe that certain things are real when they're not. And then I started thinking, well, what is a real woman? Because we're being fed that a woman does this, but a real woman does not do that. A real woman doesn't look like that. A real woman can't have that much. Can't have, like, one of the things that's so ridiculous is that breasts are nothing but body fat. And the thing is, you can't have huge breasts unless you have a certain amount of body fat. So this ideal of being super skinny with big boobs is just unnatural. It's just.
And then now white women want to have the Latina booty, which is interesting.
Latina beauty, which you just go, or the big lips.
Yeah.
And then you go, it's like, and then what's so funny is that you're creating Frankenstein. You're taking all these things that almost can't quite happen, because there's a natural order to things that. And I remember when I watched The Swan, I was horrified.
Oh my gosh! There was a Latino I forget her name. What is her name again?
I don't want to say, just because I do know her.
Oh, okay.
I do know her, but I was horrified, because I thought this is being passed off as progress, as empowering women, when true self-esteem is saying, you know what, I may not look perfect, but I love me and I'm good enough, but all those surgeries to me indicates that, you know what, it's not empowerment at all. So all these stupid makeup shows, like
Extreme makeover.
extreme makeovers, are not about self-esteem. It's about like self-hatred disguised as self-esteem. It's like the Big Brother thing where you're told one thing, but it really is the opposite. But I mean, I wrote this when I was 18, 19, around that age. And it's interesting that now, like, we're seeing even the worst of it, like the extremes of beauty and starvation. Like, I mean, anyway, so, you know, when my movie came out, it came out at the right time where enough women were fed up with that unrealistic portrayal of women. And anyway, I'm just really happy that it's done so well, and I'm hoping that now that it can succeed as a musical, I'm hoping that I can come to Broadway one day with Real Women Have Curves.
How is that going right now? I know you're in progress with doing the musical.
I've written the second draft of the book for the musical, and I'm waiting for another composer to present me music, and then we'll see if it's the right fit.
Do you have any actors in mind?
Well, you know, of course I would love to have America, but now she's too thin now. She can't play her anymore.
Wow.
But
what did you think of that? Did you see that Glamour cover where they kind of airbrushed? I think they put Photoshop all over the place. This was recent. There was a Glamour cover of her. I remember, and I was like, she's not. You know how they always do the photoshopping.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know she's a little bit thicker than that, and it looks nice. You know, it's like
I haven't seen
I've never seen that cover
in person, but I know she's thinner.
Do you guys keep in touch? Have you spoken since?
No, I haven't seen her like in a year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So no, well, I would right now. There was another actress, Sarah Ramirez, but I saw her at my grocery store in Silver Lake, and I was about to say hi, and then I noticed that she was much thinner. So I think she's losing weight too.
Everyone's losing weight.
So I don't know if we're going to find a cast.
Yeah,
with names. I think it's going to be challenging because any Latina who's making it, as soon as she makes it in Hollywood, the message is
she goes blonde.
You got to fit, you got to lighten up. Like it's almost like you got to disappear. Whatever's athletic about you, get rid of it. You know, you got to fit in.